This is a little exercise for you to try to get to the bottom of where your belief systems stem from, how they were formed from your growing up, your upbringing, and how you've been through experiences and how you've seen the world to how you see things today. This is an exercise where you need to close your eyes and do a little bit of a hypnosis meditation type thing. So if you don't have time and you're not in the right place right now, just save it. If you are in the right place and you have time to do this, go ahead and keep listening. So I want you to firstly close your eyes and just take in some really deep breaths. Really, as you take in a long, slow, deep breath to really fill your lungs up. Hold it for a moment and then release. And it's just a way of helping your body to center itself and calm right down and be open to wanting to see more. This is more of the higher self that's talking to you. I want you to go back to a time in your childhood that you remember quite vividly. Something will just come at some kind of time frame of your childhood. An age that you were will jump out to you. How you saw yourself, how your hair looked at that age, what kind of clothes you were wearing, where you were living, what was around you at the time. So go back to that time, because the time that jumps out to you is significant for you. And I want you to take notice of the conversation that your parents or adults around you are having around money. Can you hear one parent being more cautious with money and the other one spending? Can you hear them arguing about money? Can you hear them worrying about money? Can you hear them having absolutely no care in the world about money and never, ever hearing a conversation about it? Can you recall asking for some money and being told, no, money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work for it, you can't just get it given to you? Or do you recall a time where it was just given to you freely and you didn't even have to do anything for it? Just center yourself around how you remember. What phrases do you remember your parents saying or your grandparents? And how did you feel? Were you even concerned at all about money at that age of your life, or it didn't even enter your mind? Everything you needed was around you. You were catered for, and money didn't even come into it. So now we're going to move into how you saw your parents in relationships. Were your parents affectionate with one another? Did they touch each other and kiss each other in front of you? Or did you never ever see them touch one another? Were your parents happy a lot of the time and you saw them cooperating together? Or was one of your parent always with you and the other one was busy working and not home very much? Was one of your parents away a lot more, or were they always together and did everything together? What conversations can you remember hearing about relationships with your parents or your grandparents or other influential adults around you at this age that you're a child? Do you recall hearing people talking a lot about you have to fight for a relationship, you have to make things work, you can't just walk away? Or do you ever recall hearing one of your parents gossiping about other people that divorce a lot? Does maybe one of your parents was talking about their brother or sister and saying, oh, everyone around me can't make relationships work, I'm the only one that can? Really sit and think for a moment. What did you hear your parents saying a lot about relationships? Did they give you advice? Did they let you just work it all out on your own? Now we're moving into your worth. You're at the same age that you were in this vision as a child, or you've jumped to a different time frame. Suddenly you're seeing yourself at a different age. You look different. Things were different around you. Something may have happened in your life that was quite traumatic at that time. What age are you seeing yourself at now? And what did someone say to you that made you feel less worthy than you are? Was there a school teacher that said you weren't good enough? Was there a sports coach that said you'll never make the team? Did you find that friends were not loyal to you around this time and were bullying you? Did you feel very pressured by a parent that you had to do well, and if you weren't doing well, then you weren't going to get their love? What is it? What was going on around you that made you feel less worthy than you had before? All of a sudden it's different. You feel different. Something has happened to you where you feel different now. Did you fall in love with the first person that came along and then they didn't want you anymore? What was it, and what age did you first start to have that feeling that you're not worthy anymore? And now you might want to jump to another time in your future self, from that time you were a child to a different time when you were older, and the same thing happened again. That same feeling happened again, where you put in a lot of effort to somebody else and it wasn't returned to you, so you didn't feel worthy. Or you were trying to pass a test and you failed it. And it might be something so simple, like just going for a learner's permit in a car and you failed the first time. Just something that simple. And did you tell people that you failed and they laughed at you? Did you feel degraded in some way because you didn't pass first time round? Something that simple can still be sitting in there, sitting deep inside you as a feeling of unworthiness. What about with conversations you heard about religion in your family? Did a parent, grandparents, did they tell you that there was a God and they took you along to their church because that was their belief, so they took you along and you formed the same belief? So today, the way that you see and understand religion has come from what was taught to you. So that makes it your truth. But if it wasn't taught to somebody else, is it still a truth? Or is it only your truth? Was there absolutely no mention of religion or God or anything in your family? So to this day, you are more inclined to feel that there is a spiritual world, there is a universe, there is a source. How have you come to that conclusion? And what TV shows did you watch when you were growing up? What did you watch a lot of, regularly? And what was the message that you were getting from that TV show? Have a real deep think about the storyline in the TV show, the characters, the way the characters interacted with one another. What did you love so much about it? And has that helped you form a certain belief today, just from watching those TV shows? Did you love the characters so much and you watched how maybe you watched a family dynamic in a TV show and you wanted to be like them? Or you wanted to marry somebody in the future that was just like their relationship? Is that where that belief came from? Or if you're working in the spiritual world, where did the beliefs come from? Did you read books? Have you read books? Have you followed other teachers and you've taken on what they have told you as the truth and it feels good to you, so it now becomes your truth? Like, where are your beliefs coming from? Why do you think the way that you do? Because your brain started out with nothing in it. It was totally fresh. Somebody had to teach you how to walk. Somebody had to teach you how to feed. You knew to cry when you needed attention. Someone has taught you how to talk, how to communicate. So everything else has been taught, has been put into your mind by what is going on around you, by how you saw your parents, what their beliefs were, what you've taken on as your own, what TV shows, what books you read, stories, what you saw friends doing, what society around you was expecting people to do, and you followed along. And so whenever you're in a situation where you've got some kind of blockage or you can't move forward or it doesn't feel right anymore, it's something coming up to say, just check on that belief. Because maybe all this time I've been carrying around somebody else's belief and it's never ever been mine, and it's never been right for my life. Because we're not all the same. We weren't born to all be the same and to copy one another. We were born to service each other and to have an impact on each other's life, but to stay authentic. So it's a really good exercise to do, to take yourself back to times in your past when you were growing up, where you started to take on the beliefs of people around you, but they were never yours.